They don't want to support Captain Traore, who is there, a son, a disciple of Thomas Sankara. The brave men and women of Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso deserve our respect.
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching this video from. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. You know that. Now, this video I'm going to react on this clip of brave man from Zambia. His name is Membe, who traveled, surprised Burkina Faso President Ibrahim Traore and supporting him by talking sense to other African leaders who are puppets, who are cowards, and have the fear for the whites. Let's watch this video and then we go talk about it.
I've heard some people talk so nicely about Thomas Sankara, but they are not saying the same about Captain Traore. They support Thomas Sankara because he's not there. They don't want to support Captain Traore, who is there, a son, a disciple of Thomas Sankara. Comrades, what is going on here is a revolutionary process that needs our support, that needs to be defended, that needs to be advanced with all the tenacity, with all the courage it takes. Some of us come from places, come from countries where they believe the periodic elections they hold are the only way for people's participation. But they forget, or we forget, that in a truly free world, democracy takes many forms of expression. It's not only one form of expression. You can vote with a pencil, and in some places, people have voted with their blood. The brave men and women of Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso deserve our respect, deserve our support. I'm saying brave because what they are doing requires courage. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for the cowards who grovel before imperialism. The challenges they face are huge. The risks they have taken are immense. And it requires determination, it requires resoluteness, it requires a greater love for one's people and humanity in general. We are here to witness the transformation of this region. We are here to render solidarity to a place, an area of our continent that deserves it and needs it most. What is happening here is a big light being shown around the whole continent. Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso are showing us the way. They are lighting the way for all of us to take. How we get there may differ, but what they are doing here, you can't avoid it. Whether you are an elected government or you have come through the military way, You can't avoid the transformations going here. They are asserting themselves in a manner that has not been done before. Imperialism is in panic. Imperialism is in shock. They didn't expect this. They didn't expect this boldness. They didn't expect this resolutiveness. They didn't expect this clarity. Speaker after speaker this morning was very clear on what is being done here, what is being advanced here, what is being promoted here, what is being defended here. They were very clear. And this clarity need to be respected. This clarity needs to be embraced. This clarity needs to be explained further and further and further and further and further, and made more simpler and simpler and simpler to all our people on this continent and the diaspora. A lot can be said about what is going on here, and many have already said it. I don't want to bore you with repetitions. All that I can say is let's embrace what is going on here. Let's dedicate a lot of time to what is going on here. Let's provide what is going on here with the moral and political support. There are many answers, there are many questions that need answers. Let's work with our comrades here to provide the answers that are needed. A country dominated by another country can never be able to be democratic. You can't build democracy in a country that is dominated by another country, that is a neo-colony of another country. For you to start talking about democracy, you have to get rid of neo-colonialism. It's a condition. We heard at the opening session of this conference this morning, speaker after speaker, including the Prime Minister of Niger, they were talking about the struggle for their independence. They were talking about the struggle for sovereignty. Sovereignty for what? Independence for what? Independence from who? Independence from who? It's independence from those who dominate us today. It's independence from those who neo-colonize us today. It's independence from those who subjugate us today. Without that independence, you cannot talk of democracy. The elections we hold in all these neo-colonial states have not taken us anywhere. For more than 5-6 decades, we have been holding elections in some of these territories of Africa. Where have those elections taken us? Nowhere. Why? Because we are colonies. We are neo-colonies. We are dominated by others. And you cannot have meaningful democracy without total independence, as it was said this morning. We need total independence. There are some who despise, who look down upon what is going on in the Sahel today, because it's being carried by men and women in uniform, called the military. But comrades, this is the liberation struggle. And no country in the world, truthfully speaking, including the United States itself, did not liberate itself by the use of the military, by the use of armed men and women. That's what happens when there's national liberation. People who command the use of force step in. And what is going on here cannot be said to be undemocratic when you compare it with the sham elections that are being held across the continent, with the political parties that compete with each other without any meaningful agenda, without any meaningful purpose, other than the use of millions and millions of dollars to deceive the people, to bribe the people. The changes going on here today cannot be carried out without the will of the people, without the support of the people. It's impossible. These are not mere military coups. These are revolutionary processes with a very, very high level of people's support and people's participation. In the opening session today, we had leaders of our people from all walks of life. We had the traditional leaders, we had the religious leaders, and others. People participate in political processes through their authentic leaders. And when those leaders are there, you cannot deny that there's people's participation. We had Islamic leaders today. We had a Catholic bishop today. We had all sorts of traditional leaders today participating in our conference. This is truly a conference of the people in a country that is trying to transform itself, that is trying to liberate itself. It is impossible not to support what is going on today here. If you are truly a Democrat, if you are truly progressive, if you are truly a socialist.
Wow, this was just wow. It's amazing to see how African leaders, some of them, are waking up and speak sense to those leaders who are cowards, who are the puppets, who have the fear of the West. This leader from Zambia, Membe, went to travel to Burkina Faso, and on his speech I've heard saying that some people are praising Thomas Sankara because he's no more there. People are praising Thomas Sankara, saying he was a great leader, and yet we have a great leader in Burkina Faso who is the student of Thomas Sankara, Ibrahim Traore, but they do not want to support him. They don't praise him. They don't talk about him because he's alive and he's kicking. But why should you talk to people who died? Why should you talk good on Thomas Sankara, and when he was alive you did not talk anything good about him? Now we have one here who is alive, who has the blood of Thomas Sankara, who have the rage of Thomas Sankara, Ibrahim Traore, but you have kept quiet. You have zipped your mouth. You don't want to support the agenda. You don't want to praise him. You even don't want just to say that he is doing something good because you fear the white imperialist, because you fear the supremacy, because you fear the Westerners. Why? Membe has talked sense to them, telling them to support whatever Ibrahim Traore is doing because this is a revolution. Voting for a good leader does not consist of just voting with a pen. He has said it, even blood. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, from the speeches of the Prime Minister, for example, of Niger, said that they are liberating Africa, or to liberating their country, fighting for freedom of their country, fighting for democracy of their country. And people asking freedom from whom? Freedom from France, freedom from the neo-colonization, freedom from the whites who are still controlling most of the countries in Africa. This is the time, it was a trigger that came from Ibrahim Traore, and it's the time where all African leaders needed to support. It was a trigger, started with Ibrahim Traore, and it's a wake-up call to all African leaders. Can you imagine Ghana, Nigeria, just West countries or the ECOWAS countries support Ibrahim Traore? That's half of Africa supporting the change, supporting the liberation, supporting the democracy. Can you imagine Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Congo, Brazzaville coming together and supporting whatever Ibrahim Traore is doing? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine how that can be? And then it triggers countries from East Africa and they start talking in one language. Can you imagine if the AU, African Union, is being triggered by Ibrahim Traore and decide, you know what, all the members must follow this route? What will happen? Greatness after greatness. But because you are, as your leader, he's a puppet to the West, because he is fearfully made, very fearless, you are not supporting what Ibrahim Traore is doing. You are not supporting the fact that Ibrahim Traore is trying to liberate Africa. Because he's working on agriculture, he's working on education, because he believes the youths must be educated. He believes about agriculture, food is the backbone of the country. About culture, teaching these people or the young ones the culture of Burkina Faso. These are the key points that Ibrahim Traore is trying to deal with. So for those all leaders who stand on the podium say, we had someone like Thomas Sankara, he was a good person. Can you please try say something about Ibrahim Traore? We want to hear what you're going to say. But the first thing that came out of the mouth of a Kenyan leader about Ibrahim Traore was that we cannot go that way because we are a democratic country. Okay, we are a democracy country. We are a democratic country. But what is this democracy eating us? Because we are voting, the people we are voting in are not the one who are there, or we are voting in a democratic way, but we are voting in thieves. Some African leaders, they go on podium speaking large that we will do this. We will not allow Africans or white people to do this to us. We will not allow the Westerners to carry us like this. But at the end of the day, nothing happened. Whatever they say is not what they do. Like the speech that William Ruto gave sometimes back, that they will not be treated like children, but only few months later, him being there as the leader, they were treated like children too in China. So we have to put measures on how, or we have to educate ourselves. We have to make ourselves understand our parts that we need to play so that we can make Africa great. So for African leaders not supporting Ibrahim Traore, or for African leaders, the countries in this Africa, Sudan, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, for them not talking about what Ibrahim Traore is doing and not supporting him, it's alarming, because it creates something in our minds that these guys do not want anything good to come out of Africa. That's why they are looting every now and then, stealing from their own people, eating their own children. Because if they want change, they will support. But because they don't want change, they are not supporting it. They are calling Burkina Faso not being democratic country. And yet, this not being democratic is helping, because there's a youth somewhere who was seated somewhere and seeing what he can change, seeing what he can do to put jobs at the hands of the people of the country. But he cannot be given chance, because these political leaders, they don't want Africa to change. They don't want Africa to be great. They don't want African people to just have good economy, because they love people coming kneeling to them. This Buga, they call themselves Buga in every videos, because the master told them, you need to be like this. This is how you need to be. So they are serving the master. And that's why they are not talking about the one who is alive, who is Ibrahim Traore, but they can talk about Thomas Sankara whenever they go. Even the white people will talk about Thomas Sankara of Africa. But they cannot talk about recent Ibrahim Traore. What he's doing needs to be bold, brave, because no African leader have those balls to do such, to take such measures in the country. The Nana Kufu, Ramaphosa, William Ruto, we have seen them. We have seen them speaking on podiums there, giving good speeches, but on acting, we haven't seen them, because they just talk big and not act. But Ibrahim Traore is doing more than what he's talking. So we need to come as Africans. We need to rethink. Ask your leader, do you support Ibrahim Traore or not? If he does not support, just know that one is a puppet, that one is a coward, that one is taking the country into slavery. Yeah. You have heard what he said, and just my message to the people who are watching this video, the youths and everyone. It's our mandate on your next election to vote in people who we know they will say no to imperialists, to people who are not the puppets. We vote in the people or the youths who will fight for the interest of Africa. So that's what we need to do. But it was a great video. I loved this video. Tell me what you think on the comment section. Until next episode, peace be with you.